make it live and make it public. I also have, there's an API between Zoom and YouTube that will make the connection between Zoom and YouTube. So anyone outside of this class in Blackboard can also see it live. Also, I'd like you to think about how could this be used for business. So in this case, when Christian was telling us he's an entrepreneur, it's like the idea you could do a webinar and you could charge for that webinar, have your own clients there, but you also could have an idea that you, in the same time, you could broadcast that live to YouTube. And then you could even have other people, right, Lucy, just moderating the text in YouTube. If you know, we had, and what's the beauty of YouTube? It can be anonymous. You can have thousands of people. Right here, we're limited. And also, no one needs, in this case, there doesn't need to be, if we don't want to, it doesn't need to be a paywall. But we could, Lucy, make that as limited and just share the link of YouTube and not make it public, depending on what we were doing. If we had some kind of confidential information, or we say, hey, we can charge people on YouTube too. You know, you can think about the business ideas there. So I got that done. But I also like on my own end, just so you know, on my own computer, I do like to save because I never know if I always will have internet. It's another backup purpose for me. Okay. And I am just so blessed. I tell you, I end up having students that help me in this class and cooperate. And as I told you, even those students that are taking my class, if you're really into it and want to learn more, or you have a motivation in it, you can become what we call a teaching assistants in training. And basically what they are folks that are really motivated for this class and they want to get a little bit heads up. So they get the assignments, let's say a week in advance. They get a little bit that they can help other students. And from those teaching assistants in training, I choose for the following, those students, they come with me for paid positions as my teaching assistant. Once they're with me and they're really excellent, I promote them to be lead teaching assistants, where they basically lead the other TAs. And then they basically help me creating new activities, new assignments, since it's changing. You folks, since I have an extra section this semester, have been lucky enough to have Lily, who has been with me, you know, for a year. I can't believe it. Right, Lily? And we kind of basically chat, I think, more than we expected on how we're going to try to do new things. Because I'm halfway crazy because I love this stuff and I always am trying to figure out how I can engage more and how I can basically learn that I have the opportunity. Because if, you know, a number of these business people say, you know, I don't have time, I have to run a business, not do the AI and the tech. So I do it. So Lily, you have some words of wisdom for us before we begin for
Yes,
tonight?
well, like Professor said, I've been with her for about 3 semesters. This is my third one.
Wow.
Um, and I liked the class so much that I wanted, and I liked her so much that I wanted to stay with her for a year, so that should speak some volume. I
Mutual.
guess yes, I guess for words of wisdom, um, make sure to check what's due every week for what is due. It'll tell you exactly where to find all your assignments um, and also to make sure when you join class to have your face in frame, like shoulders up, because we count that for attendance purposes.
Right.
If you're not showing your face in frame, we will mark you absent.
So one of the things is we want to be authentic, right? One of the things now it's going to be is this real, right? Is my face real, right? You can even have an AI do that. As a matter of fact, I was speaking with the CEO of Zoom, and that was his idea that you'll have specialties where they'll be in your Zoom call and you won't know. Like I'll have a negotiator. I'm not good in negotiation. My Dr. Rush's negotiator will be there. But what I am looking for, along with my TA and along with you helping me moderate and being my students, I'm looking, and that's what I'll be working on this semester, is have AI be my teaching assistant companion. You got it? I don't see why not, right? And also, if you have questions, to have what we call an AI caller phone number that you can talk to our agent, Dr. Rush's agent. When is the exam? What are issues? You have questions about certain principles or something like that we can do it. So we're going to be working on that. So all the time, it's a type of a class that it's hands-on. The first week is not as much. But after that, next Wednesday, we're rolling up our sleeves and we're going to get started. If that's not the class that's for you, if you rather kind of lay back, or, online is hard too for some people. There are other sections, and I think I think you can add till next week, if I am not mistaken. So we'll see how we go. Okay, any comments before we begin? Okay, so I'm going to share. Oh, the first thing I wanted to do is this, Lily, is figure out when I look at participants, and you guys can look at participants too, is it seems everybody, is there anybody besides me and you that's not listed as guest?
I
Lily?
already figured it out, Professor. It's because they didn't sign in, like they didn't create an account through Zoom. Like Blackboard allows students to join into the links even if they don't have like a school account, like if they didn't register like their school email with Zoom.
Okay,
So once they
so
do their first assignment, all that guest stuff should go away.
okay. So you'll okay. So you don't need to write up anything or do an announcement on that. We should, after that first assignment of the Zoom assignment, that
It
should,
should all be cleared, yeah.
okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let me share with you. See if I can share. Right? Am I sharing? Yes. So in this case, hold on. Oh, here, my screen. Let's see. Having some issues here. I don't know why. Let's try it again. Okay, this should be better. Let me share. Okay. You guys see my screen?
Yeah, we see your screen.
Perfect. I'm so happy you see my screen. Okay. Okay, first of all, if you see my screen, what do you see here? So if I look at it, this was from last time. Notice this was from my last class, so I can shut that down. I can go to my courses. Let's see here. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, so now I get the right screen. Perfect. Everybody sees me. I see Lily and Christina. Everybody see themselves, and we know that it is delayed, right? That it's going to be delayed. And now if I go to my content, I see K. We know the syllabus, right? We know that we have two exams. There's March 2nd and April 22nd that are in class, right? We're making sure that we know that. Has this been updated, the syllabus, or no? Not yet, Lily?
Yeah, it's been updated. It says
Okay.
access through Blackboard instead of the link to the
Okay,
Wiley
okay,
Plus.
so perfect. So basically, you see my office hours, as we discussed before. It's after this class, so you don't have to go anywhere. You got that information. You have the Wiley Plus, you have all the peer reviews, all the policies, behavior. You know that exam one is in person, exam two is in person. The final project, you know you will be 25%. It's a group project. Your assignments will be individual and with your group. And you can see participation quizzes, attendance polls will be available. Some of this is subject to change based on how we go along doing it, but things that stay standard is March 2nd, exam one in the School of Business, Jenkins 204 Computer Lab. We will have that. There's two parts to the exam. One is like the quizzes, multiple choice. The second part is open-ended. They're usually 2 to 3 questions, and they're open-ended based on a lot of our assignments, based on our additional readings from the book. And you say, my goodness, that's way too much. Who can even answer any of that? And that will be the open-ended multiple choice in-person exams are without any aids. No additional searching on the internet, no chat GPT. It's all from your mind. So in terms of the open-ended questions, I give out usually around 8 open-ended questions, and I choose from them. So there won't be any surprises on the open-ended, and the multiple choice will be similar types of questions, and we'll go over that. So that's March 2nd and April 22nd. Put that in your calendars. You need to be in person in the exam. Okay, so we got that part done. And then what is key here is the what's due section. The what's due section, this is for Wednesday. We have a little bit more time for this just because on Monday, is a holiday for the university and for Martin Luther King. And so you need to sign up for Wiley Plus. You need to do the readings of Wiley Plus. You need to do the adaptive assignment in Wiley Plus, and there's quizzes. And people were getting confused between what's the difference between adaptive assignment versus the quizzes. I'll go over that. And you need to register for the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and the Financial Times. If you look at this link here, let me open that up in a new tab. Everything changes. Links are always not what they appear. So what you have here is the New York Times digital edition that I really find some interesting articles, and the Wall Street Journal. You can sign up with your Kane ID and you're doing well. Students from the last class told me that the Financial Times digital is not working properly. So you can then, I think, just register with FT and get that as well. So if you look at what I like is Wall Street Journal does a pretty good job in where you go right here to tech. Is that really true? Trump says Iran is. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. So you can see here in tech, this is what I like. What I'd like you to do is each week we need for this class, we need to be familiar what's happening in the world of technology because it's really getting so quickly changed that it's hard to keep up. And many of my students are in finance. And when you think about where the multi-million-dollar partnerships coming, it's definitely what's keeping the markets up here is definitely this AI. So, and then there's issues. Anybody hear about Grok and the deep fakes and investigating images of women and children? being their faces and their bodies and everything are being faked out. It's not good. And then you can think about the partnerships. What is this partnership with here, multi-billion? We're not even talking about million, we're talking billion. But then you can see something like metaverse. I don't want to get into that. But if you see something like metaverse, used to be what they called AI, and all of a sudden it used to be called Facebook, and all of a sudden in the metaverse, we were going to do all this VR, AR, artificial reality, and instead Meta is moving away from that and going into AI, and especially AI glasses, wearables. So you can see this. You think about a lot of the security for chip sales. You wonder what you're going to do with your job, train your robot for replacement. So what I'd like you to do is kind of get a feel every week, get a feel of your interests and what's happening here. It's just amazing. And what I do on your what's due section is I'll give you additionally what to read. Here's a reading from the Wall Street Journal on IT departments that are overloaded. Here's something about you're a student. So what should I study? How can I'm convinced that everybody's going to be that has a job will be working with AI. So what should you do? So this is due for next week when we meet again. So this what's due section, just like Lily said, this is where you find out, hey, I missed it. What is available? I got step by step. So what does it say? Sign up to Wiley and the readings. So where do I go? Wiley readings and adaptive, because it says I need to do an adaptive assignment. They're together. When you go to Wiley and readings, you should go to the next chapter. There's only one chapter that's available to you. And notice, as we said before, that try to use with Wiley. It's very vulnerable in terms, and it's really not solid. So they don't allow you to use iPads to see well. So use a laptop or desktop, use Google Chrome, and then go into your chapter. Your chapter, you can think about it, is basically all of these are, if I think about any of these are the readings. You read however you want. You can even use other resources as summary resources. You can give AI, giving them summaries to do. I don't care. You need to understand the material. And in this case, they talk about the IT department called information technology. They also use the term information systems. What are the difference? Who cares? We'll be talking about that. And in an information system, they talk about what? They really talk about data. They talk about how data collects, how data processes, how data stores, how to analyze the data, how do you disseminate the data. And anything that you're reading here, you have to do it with the rose-colored glasses of where does AI fit. And basically, when I get all this data, what's happening? All this data and all these chatbots need is what? Large storage facilities to hold all this data, to analyze this data, to create information into knowledge, and to get insights into this data. So you can look through all of this where they talk about computer-based information systems, that I have hardware, and also what's the trend of hardware. Of course, hardware is getting cheaper, it's getting more miniaturized. I talk about the databases have to hold a lot more. And then we talk about software, where we're getting AI combined into that. And how do we network all this together? So you see that that is the part. What is key here, what people were confused is, at the very end, you see chapter 1, information systems adaptive. You see this wrench here, like little symbols for searching. Here is a symbol of a wrench. I got to take this quiz to get credit for. Part of adaptive. Once I know this information, then I take the adaptive. Now there's something, and I want you to put that in your list, is called the principle of least privilege. The principle of least privilege means that information systems, when they assign roles, they assign your access based on your role. What I call them sometimes the need to know, or to need to know, the need to do your job. So if I open the assignment, Lucy, I'm opening the assignment. Should I see just one student or many students, how they've done? Lucy.
Probably many.
Yeah, because I'm basically that's all. Should you see many students, Lucy?
No, no.
No. Now notice, it's different when you click on it, you actually take the the quiz, plus you get feedback on how well you did. Notice here it tells me it's basically when it's due, and then the class project possibilities, Lucy, and you see here not started 24. I don't care because that's going to be due on Wednesday, but I'm happy to see that 25 students have gone into this. What I want, how many students do I have, Lily, in the class today?
You have 31 students in the class,
31.
right? Oh,
So
no, sorry, 29.
29. So I need to have, in this case, among even the students, I don't know how many students are going to be coming back, but all students need to at least have started it. So I want to see a total of 29 by the end of the day. What does that take just to click? So once you click, you get it. So I have this. You see that, Lucy? And then what I have is students. It should tell me about how my students are doing, and I get to see, what's your last name, Lucy?
Ruiz, R-U-I-Z.
Okay, so I see here that Olivia already has done, she's in progress, she's already done 80%. I don't care how long you take. I don't care if you do open book, not open book. And then you can see in this case that she has attempted it already, right? And then these others haven't, but that's fine. And then I'll get to see everybody on how they're doing. Okay, so if I go back, then that is the widely adaptive. The other thing that I want to emphasize is once I have the widely reading and adaptive, I have also, let me go back to what's due. So I know I signed up. I know the readings, what I did. I know I did the adaptive. And now they say, hey, do quizzes, which give you more practice to do the multiple choice question. Because guess what? On the exams, you'll have multiple choice questions similar to these. So chapter 1, Introduction to Information Systems, over the same material, you get quizzes. And the only difference in these quizzes is that it's just given to you in a different format, but you are able to take this quiz twice. It says the test allows multiple attempts, meaning multiple attempts should really tell you 2 times. You can take this 2 times, and guess what, Lucy? I don't care how long it takes you. I don't care if you use other resources to find the answers, open book, open notes, chat GPT. I don't care. What I want you to know is to know the concepts. You got it? And you begin, and then you take the quiz. You get 2 chances. I don't see why everybody shouldn't get 100 on all of these, because it's open. Plus, the first time, if you got a couple that you didn't understand, go look them up again and find out what it was. If there's a mistake in the question, contact Lily and let her know, hey, question 7, I don't understand why it says, many, where I think it's, few or something like that. So but Your second attempt is the one that counts. So if you say, hey, I got an 8 out of 10 in the first one, and then on the second try, I got 6 out of 10, you'll get 6 out of 10. I don't know why you did that, but that's how it goes. Okay, so you got the quizzes for each chapter. If you want to help on that, you also get PowerPoints. So you get the PowerPoints for each chapter that you go. You can get it in PPTX, or you can do it and you can have with speaker notes for personal use and so forth. Okay, what else? I think in that case, it's set. Questions? Everybody with me so far? Kiko, how's it going?
It's going good. So
Okay. Do you have any questions, or this is straightforward?
just to double check it's the practice questions for the homework, correct? And for chapter 1? Because that's what I'm finding on Wiley
There's
Plus.
2 places to do it. One is you have to go to the Wiley and Adaptive. Do you see that in the
Black,
in Blackboard?
Blackboard.
And then when
Okay.
did you click on chapter 1?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay, this looks better. All right.
And then you see that last item. What does that last item say?
I gotta. You mean like once you've clicked it? Because
Once I what?
I clicked on one of the questions and it looks perfectly fine. It has the reading and it has the questions, and then it has the part where you answer.
Why don't you do you know how to share your screen?
Yeah.
So share your screen and we can all see what you're talking about.
And once it's like this, I think it's disabled in my settings. It's not letting me share my screen.
Okay, so we'll stay with us after class and we'll make sure that you understand it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this class, Brooke, I call up people, right? Also to wake you up, right? It's so easy, isn't it? If it's nice. Sometimes I like to watch videos, and it puts me to sleep. So anyways, so we want to do that. So when I call on you, many times if I ask you, for instance, what does it mean, the principle of least privilege? Jot that down. The principle, Brooke, of least privilege. What does that mean? And a lot of times you say, I have no clue, right? There's so many acronyms here. How could you know it all? And in this class, everybody listen to me. In this class, I don't want to hear, I don't know. Does everybody have access to your phone? Yes. Does everybody have access to some kind of device, a laptop, an iPad? Yes. So what could you do, Brooke? You could look it up, right? I not only say you can, hide it and look it up, I say I encourage you to do that. And then later on, what we'll do is have a discussion and try to understand. Sometimes, even when you get the definition, you're not quite sure what it actually means. And who cares for business? So that's how we're operating in this class. So we'll take an example, the principle of least privilege, because Lily even knows that that's important for me to emphasize throughout the class. Even next week, we're going to be talking about the principle of least privilege. I talk about my role, instructor role, my role, Lily's role as teaching assistant, but Lily also has a role when she's in her other class as student, right? We all have switching roles depending on what, Brooke, depending on the operation. So what I want to do is talk about a number of concepts that go around least privilege. Now, everybody has a phone, and Brooke, when I call you, or if I share my number with you, we can talk on the phone, we can text each other, we can send each other images, whatever we want to do, right? That phone is provisioned just to receive calls and text. But there's something called intelligent AI callers. Sometimes it's called just AI callers, where I can get a phone number and get it provisioned to have a large language model attached. Or in English, what it means, I can have like a chat bot attached to that phone number. You got it? But it's not you'll dial it like a regular number, but there's really something aside to that. What I also want to talk about is the idea of vanity phone numbers. Have anybody heard about vanity license plates? Reed, have you ever heard about that? A vanity license plate? I can't hear you, Reed. Reed, he's talking. Can we hear Reed? No. No.
Hello?
Yes.
Hear me?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
Vanity.
haven't heard of
Has
it.
anybody heard about a vanity raise your hand if you heard about a vanity license plate. Okay. August, what have you heard about it?
Are they like custom license plates that kind of say what you want on them?
Yeah, like I don't know, big guy or the surgeon or whatever, or Dr. No or whatever. It's basically rather than getting the regular digits and characters that you can request a saying. I think it has to be 8 characters or 10 characters, have a license plate. There's also on phone numbers that you can get what they call a vanity phone number, like 1-800-Flowers. So if you dialed 1-800-Flowers, August, what would you think you got on the other end? And it was near Valentine's Day, and you said, hey, I'm going to call 1-800-Flowers. It would be what, August?
1-800-Flowers?
Yeah. What do you think it would be on the other
I
end?
assume like a flower business.
Yeah, flower business. They'll send the flowers, right? Or 1-800-Mattresses or 1-800 FedEx, right? But you get FedEx, right? So in this case, what I like is August, let's do this. Get out your phone. Everybody get out your phone, right? Everybody get out your phone and let's look at the phone and go to your keypad. Everybody know where your keypad is? Look with just your digit. I don't want you to actually press the green button of you're going to be dialing it, but let's put in the numbers. Okay, you with me, August? And then your speaker works on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what I want, and everybody do that, I want you type in 1-800. Everybody got that. And then I want you to type, and the vanity number is 1-800-chat GPT. So August, you tell us what's the first digit after the 800.
I guess it'd be 2,
2 for C. Good. What's the next digit?
4,
4 for H. What's the next digit?
2 again,
2 again for the A. What's the next digit?
8,
8 for T. So we got the chat, 1-800-chat. Now we need GPT. So what's the G?
4,
4.
7,
7 is the P.
and 8.
8. I don't want you to die. Don't do it. Everybody hands up, right? It's like that song, hands up. You're not being arrested. No, really. So anyways, in this case, we want it. And you tell me, August, what do you think when you press that green button? What will you hear on the other end? Or will you hear anything? Or am I just kind of delusional tonight?
I mean, I don't know if it works or not, but if it does, I assume it'd just be like a chat GPT chatbot talking to you.
Okay. Any other ideas? How many people agree with him? Okay. So basically, what would that be? That would be what? An intelligent caller or an AI caller that has inside what? ChatGPT or OpenAI that's provisioned for a phone. And when you call it, let's find out from them what does it mean, and you can jot it down, August, the principle of least privilege and how it works and an example how it works in the university for students and professors. You got that, August? That what we want to ask it?
Sure.
So tell me what you're going to ask it before we ask it.
Wait, can you say it again? Sorry.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's kind of long, yeah.
Okay, the principle,
Principle,
right,
yeah,
of least privilege.
of
You
least
want to
privilege.
know about
Okay.
that. Do you know, could you describe, if I asked you on the exam, that could be an exam question. Tell me about the principle of least privilege and how does it pertain to students and professors at a university? Give me an example. That would be an
I could
example.
answer, but it would be a guess.
Right. So why don't we use now to prepare
All right.
as an intelligent caller? So let's dial it and let's see if we're right.
All right. Wait.
And
Uh,
conversation may be reviewed for safety. By continuing this call, you agree to OpenAI's terms and privacy policy. So, how can I help you today?
could you explain the concept of least privilege?
Sure. The concept of least privilege is a security principle that suggests that any user, program, or process should have only the minimum privileges necessary to perform its function. This limits access rights for users to the bare minimum needed, reducing the risk of accidental or malicious misuse. It's like giving someone a key that only opens the doors they need to get their job done and no more. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
So ask it for a university
Welcome.
example.
Anything else you'd like to know about?
How could this affect a university?
In a university setting, applying the least privilege principle can help protect sensitive information, such as student records, financial data, and research. For example, staff members would only have access to the data necessary for their roles. A professor might access grades, but not financial records, while a financial officer wouldn't need access to research data. This minimizes potential damage from security breaches or insider threats. Make sense?
Yes,
Thank you.
it's a pretty good answer.
Pretty good answer. Better than you could do,
Anything else?
right? In the beginning.
I think so,
But
yeah.
you understand? But isn't that fabulous?
Yeah, it's pretty useful.
And how many people knew about it? Most people don't even know. And that's really ChatGPT on as what? August, as an AI caller. Is it inbound or outbound? Who can tell me? You want to start? Give it a guess. Is that inbound or outbound?
I mean, from their source, it'd be outbound
Yeah.
because it's going to me, right?
Who dialed it? You
dialed.
dialed into it.
Oh, okay. All right.
You dialed into it, right? You
Mhm.
initiated it
Mhm.
into it. It's answering you.
Okay.
So you can have intelligent AI callers that are inbound that you could then get your potential customers calling in to get information. And instead of you, August, answering the phone or hiring somebody to answer the initial phone, the intelligent caller would answer it. Now, what we're going to be doing, so what they did is ChatGPT just put a version of their, not their latest, but a version of their language model provision to this phone number. You got it?
I think
What
so, yeah.
we're going to do in this class, I'm going to have you in a project where we're going to work in teams, August, where everybody each team is going to be are going to be AI consultants, but they'll work on a certain sector. So August, what is your major?
Finance.
Finance. So let's say in finance you want to go in wealth management. We're just making it up. And let's say, hey, we're going to help wealth managers use AI. And possibly what you can do then is you'll create a number and you'll try to find a number which would spell something instead. You don't want 1-800-CHAT-GPT because you're not ChatGPT, right? But maybe you're AI, Wealth AI, USA Wealth AI. And when they call, what we want to do is we'll be able to not take that number. You'll be able to take that number. You'll be able to change the prompts. You'll be able to talk about who's in your company, what is the mission of your company. And when they ask, hey, who is tell me about this company, you'll have the AI caller say, hi, we're AI Wealth. We're here to help wealth managers become more efficient. Can we help you? Have any questions? And then, would you like to set up a calendar? Would you like to meet with all? And they say, well, who is the CEO? Can you tell me about the executive team? And it would be you, August, and maybe Dan and Sam and Kiko, right? And you could have their information. And then that would be inbound. Do you got it? So these are I want you to understand that, August. If I want you folks to understand, is this really the course that I want to be in? Is this the type of second? Because I do things different than, right, Lily, than other professors. And I'm using my own dog, as I say, my own dog food. You know what I mean? I'm on kind of the bleeding edge, and come with me and you see what's involved now. I go, to a number of conferences where they're asking me to be keynotes to help businesses talk about, hey, what should we be doing and leading them? And I said, why not start with you guys? During the semester, we'll have guest speakers come in, and talk about it, and we'll have the conversations with them, and maybe we'll have additional ones. So I want you to understand that. Then there's something called outbound. So if I think about that, Kiko, what would be outbound call?
Can you rephrase the question again? Restate it. Please.
Okay, let me just start. Who understands what Felix, did you understand what question I just asked?
If you repeat it, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, does anybody
You said
understand?
you asked outbound. Like, what is an outbound?
Right,
Did you
he
say
was telling
call?
me right now, August was telling me that inbound is when he called 1-800-CHAT-GPT, it answered. You understand that, right, Kiko?
Yeah.
It answered, and he asked questions just like you would do in ChatGPT. Conversation. The only difference here, sometimes you're typing. You can do that with other chatbots, right? You can have conversations. It's conversational, just like you do on a phone. And basically, just so August understands, have you ever heard of a landline? People that just have like a landline, they don't even have a mobile phone, a smartphone. This can work on just a dumb phone. That's just what they call plain old telephone system. So my question for everybody, and it doesn't even have to be with Kiko and Felix, is that what would be an intelligent AI caller that does outbound calls rather than inbound calls? Raise your hand if you can kind of just even imagine that. Kiko.
Would it be like a telemarketing agency that utilizes AI to sell products?
Yeah. And it could be part of that's called spam, right? So you would want, usually what you wanted to be responsible is maybe send to your own customers. We got updates. So I have a list of customers. I got their telephone numbers and I could call them.
Yeah.
Right. And then they would say, hey, we represent AI Wealth, Kiko. And, we have a new program out and we're wondering, or we're going to do a new webinar. Would you like to attend or whatever you want to do? So that's called outbound. In this class, we're just going to start with inbound, and then we're going to then basically train the model to be specific to us, because that's what businesses want, right? They don't want just chat GPT. I want to use my own data. I want you to promote me. I don't want you to, right? August, you don't want to promote yourself, chat GPT. They have enough, they're doing quite well, right? You know, anyways, and I don't know how well they're doing in revenues, but they're definitely doing well on getting funding, right? And wait till they go open, you know, go public, IPO, right? So those are the kind of things that we will be doing. I have an academic partnership with Wix that allows us to use their business plan rather than their free plan. So it will take away any advertising. So our websites will look professional, and it will also be able to give us a free domain name. So it won't have Wix in the title, so we'll be professional. So we'll be using that as well. Plus, we'll be talking about your AI callers, and part of your project when you're going to be presenting at the end of the semester is all of this needs to work in order to get full credit. So you'll be, you know, testing your phone number, you'll be recording that in Zoom, and you'll be uploading that as well. Okay, Lily, you want to do a quiz?
Sure, which one do you want to do?
I don't know. Which one do you think is appropriate? I give you the choice.
I'll do one that Issa did.
Okay.
Um,
And we're trying to do this too. You're going to be doing polls. We're testing out polls. We're seeing it is. So one of the things is how comfortable are you using AI tools? On a scale 1 to 5, how comfortable are you using AI tools like ChatGPT, Notebook LM, automation tools for school and work, rating and scale? Okay. So we have, and then you see how we're having the scale. And then what I want to do is you're going to be doing polls as well. And then what really is the key to everything is data, is the analytics. And what do I want is I want AI to help me with the analytics and say, what do I do with this? Give me some insights of this. How should I change? In this case, how should I change my class? Do I have those people that signed up and said 5? It's almost subjective. Are they 5 because, hey, I am really comfortable. I really know this to a T. I do vibe coding. Or is it people that I just, you know, chat with Chat GPT? It's not so bad either, and talk about my personal problems. And that's another area that I think AI can do a fabulous job in, is working even with therapists in therapy. They have either or. I think therapists should work with AI, and you see a therapist once a week, and then the therapist helps you create a plan with the AI, and then you even have recordings that they can go back and say, "Hey, have I made progress?" So are we finished with this, Lily? And then we want to
There's
end the
still
poll.
2 people that haven't responded, but I can just end the poll.
How many people have not responded?
2.
Two,
Oh no,
one more.
1.
Okay. If they've been asleep at the wheel, that we don't want to wake them. That's what I say. You know. Sometimes you're in that deep REM and you really got such a good sleep. I don't want people to. How dare that professor interrupt me when I'm
Yeah, I'll just
sleeping?
end it.
End it. Okay, so we get the idea how it works. And then what are you going to do? Share results? So in sharing the results, what do we got here? That no one is sorry, but that I was eating. Thank you, Max, for the feedback. I'm hungry too, but I'll eat afterwards. I have a banana at my side. Okay, on a scale from
Wait,
1
wait,
to
Max, put in the chat. What is your on your
what's your
scale 1
score?
to
How
5?
far are you?
Sorry?
We're not going to get to. We're not going to.
Yeah,
I appreciate Max your candor. That's what can we do? Our candor. I mean, other times people say, I was
Oh, I
looking
said
up.
it
I was
definitely.
looking up the principle of least privilege, right? Kiko, he could have said that. Instead, he was honest. I was eating. I know it's hard. Okay, so what is it? 1 to 5? Put it in the chat, Max. Okay, so you want to
Wait,
so
what question am I answering again?
see, that's a
I'm
problem.
on my
Okay.
phone, so I can't find the poll.
Okay, so we'll stop. We'll do it next time. You'll maybe bring your food to your place. Okay. So in this case, this is interesting. I got the three so I guess the majority, right, that they're saying the majority of students, 22% say they're 5. So the question is, yeah, you can stop sharing. So 6 students said they were very comfortable. So what do we do? Share results? Stop sharing?
You just did.
Yeah, and then we can do. Now, do you have the back end of how they responded? Do we have a list of those? And then later
Yeah,
on,
I just downloaded the results.
okay. Yeah, and how does it give you the results? It's interesting just to know how it is.
In a CSV file.
A CSV file. That's great. So basically, anybody hear of a CSV file? Raise your hand if you ever heard of a CSV file. And if you haven't, Kat, what should you do? C, like comma, separated value file. Everybody look it up, right? There shouldn't be any term that I say in where, right? Lucy, that anybody says, hey, I don't know. And you know, the beauty about eating, you know, in the classroom, they said, don't bring in drink, don't bring in food, water. You can bring in this case, you're not going to mess up my desktop at all. You can munch as much as you can. So anybody find it? CSV. Jonas, did you find it? Sam, did you find it? CSV file. What does it stand for and who cares? And when I was telling Lily, it matters, right? What's a CSV file? Felix, did you find it?
It's comma separated values.
And what the heck does that mean and who cares?
Um,
What does it say?
CSV is a simple plain text file format for storing tabular data, where each line is a data record and values within a record are separated by commas, making it easy for spreadsheets.
Perfect. So, what's your major, Felix?
Finance.
Do you think you need that in finance? Of course you do. You get data from all over, and people say, what format can I do it? Because I'm going to be using Excel, Felix says. And what would you tell them? You know, it's easy. Give me a CSV file because it's plain text. It doesn't have any special characters. And guess what, Felix? You don't even have to tell Excel that it's a CSV file. It knows because it's so common. It knows what? That each field, right, is a column. A field is a column, and basically each line is a row in a spreadsheet. So a record is a row, a column is a field. You got it there, you get it in. And guess what? That's one of the chapters of data in our readings, right? And CSV is a common thing for files. So is there anything there to share, Lily? I'm just curious on what the
Yeah,
results are.
I could share my screen.
Yeah. So everybody see how we're working it? We're struggling. You see that, Kiko? We're struggling with all those. And guess what? I want you to struggle too. So when everything's easy, when what, Kiko? When you know it. So in that case, then you see, what are we seeing here? Yeah. So basically, then what's nice about polls then, Kiko, is what? Then Lily and her TAs could combine that in some ways, get AI to help her and incorporate it in the grade sheets or help it in some type of incorporation that we see. So who was the most, if we looked at it, who were number 5s here? Okay, Christian, okay, and who else? Not that they're getting great any higher, but we know that maybe they want to be team leaders and Sophia, right? So those folks, if they feel so confident in it, they can help other students or they can kind of be team leaders to help us through it. And it's good for you then to see it too, Lily. How what would be nice is, you remember we talked about, Lily, agentic AI, meaning that AI not only gives us answers to our prompts, but actually does the work.
Mhm.
And then if you could then prompt AI to do that, to have some meaningful results for you to help with student engagement. I'm just throwing it out that that's really how it could be used for education, that they could have some apps that help professors when they're using polling to incorporate that into their grades in giving, rather than just participation, but engagement, something like that. Okay, so you can stop sharing. So we got the idea of what polls are, where we're going with this. Any other comments, Lucy, that we need to deal with before Lily gives us the attendance and we go and have a nice meal? And some of you have eaten already, that's fine too. I got to figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm in the mood for. Okay, you got the idea? So, Christina, you got the idea what this class is about? Whether you want to stay with me, guess what, Christina? That's up to you. It's up to all of you. You know, Lily and I are committed here, so I know next week Lily and I will be here together, right? Other than that, anyone else that wants to join us, it's open house. And Lily will serve snacks. Right, we can have DoorDash or something, you know, serving that would be nice. You know, when we get one of those sponsors, we'll do that. You know, sometimes when I go to those webinars, they say, "Oh, we'll give you, you know, your lunch is on us," and they give you a code for DoorDash or something like that. So maybe I'll have one of our sponsors provide that when we'll have it. Pretty neat. Okay, anything else? I think that's enough. So thank you all for participating, my moderators, those that I called on, right? That put you in a box. August, you were able now to know that, right? You can show it to your friends, right? Friends and family. At least you learned something that was worthwhile. Okay, we got the code. I'll stay with you for any questions. Otherwise, have a safe weekend. Enjoy yourselves. And let's make sure that everybody has the homework, that we don't have to worry about that. And we can basically be ready to, as I say, pull up your sleeves and we'll do something. We'll do breakout rooms and we'll produce something. You got it, Reed? See you next week, maybe.
Thank you.
Maybe. So stay with me. And Max, you need to be on a computer.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you about that.
Yeah,
My
it's all right. You
computer's
don't have to
currently
tell
being
me. And you need to
fixed
have
at the Apple
lights
Store in New
and
York, so I'm not.
pardon?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let me just finish the recording. Not everybody needs to hear this, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So.
we're on YouTube. You don't need it. No one